the popular name that has been coined for illegal mining. When we came into office in January 2017, galamsey activities were rampant in many parts of our country. Our lands, forests, and river bodies were being systematically degraded and polluted without any care. And this had been the case for several years. And indeed, the previous NDC government had given up the fight against galamsey. We determined that this was an intolerable situation, and we owed it to generations yet unborn to tackle the problem and save our environment. I was very much aware that the lure of gold, once it takes hold, drives away all rationality. That is not a Ghanaian characteristic. It is a human characteristic that has been displayed all over the world throughout the ages. I was therefore not under any illusions about the size and scope of the problem we're taking on. But I was cheered by the support from a large part of the population that has also recognized the danger posed by the degradation of our lands and water bodies and the needless deaths of young people who are being buried alive in makeshift mining pits. I welcomed in particular the media coalition which was formed in July 2017 that lent its support to the fight against galamsey. As I have said on countless occasions, the battle we launched was not against mining. It would be unrealistic for anyone to suggest there should be no mining in Ghana. The Almighty, having blessed us with all these precious minerals, must surely be in agreement that we'd find ways to use them to develop our country and for the benefit of our communities. However, taking the minerals out should not lead to the destruction of our water bodies and forests or endanger the sustainable existence of our country. What is more, it was obvious to all that the small-scale mining that had always taken place in our communities had been transformed into something unrecognizable in our history by the introduction of the monster machinery that dug up riverbeds and turned serene streams into ugly, toxic, muddy, frothy ponds. It was no longer small-scale mining, and it was certainly no longer local community mining when we saw the influx of foreigners into the most rural, isolated, and densest of forests. It was no longer local community mining when rivers, hitherto considered as sacred, were being abused and polluted. We started with the banning of all small-scale mining, and after about a year of the campaign, we made some progress, and some rivers showed signs of coming back to life. The University of Mines and Technology at Takwa took on the role of training local people in sustainable mining. And by the time the ban on small-scale mining was lifted last year, almost 4,000 had received the training. The Honorable House also did its part by amending the Mining Act to raise the penalties for illegal mining and prohibiting foreign nationals from participating in any way in small-scale mining. The nation is grateful for the intervention of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, the threat posed to the future of our country by galamsey is grave, and we cannot shirk our responsibilities in dealing with it. I'm appealing to the media coalition not to be daunted by the difficulties in the fight against galamsey. Government will not weaken its stance and welcomes the continuous support of the media coalition. The Interministerial Committee Against Illegal Mining has been working hard and has had some successes. Under the auspices of this committee, the Ministry of Local Government has formulated and is implementing the Alternative Livelihood Program in 35 severely affected galamsey districts across the country. Last year, 500 youth, mainly engaged in illegal mining, were trained and graduated in vocational and technical skills from community development, vocational, and technical institutions. They've been provided with startup tools and equipment. An additional 607 youth are currently undergoing similar training, 240 of whom are in the community development institutions, while 367 are attached to master craftsmen through apprenticeship at the community level. Operation Vanguard has been largely successful, even though problems still remain. Mining with impunity on water bodies and in forest reserves has declined. More than 4,000 miners have received training in sustainable mining. The number of individuals dying in collapsed mining tunnels and pits in the few unauthorized locations left has reduced by more than 90%. Operation Vanguard has been particularly effective in helping to restore the order which has permitted the reopening of the famous Obuasi mine of AngloGold Ashanti. The community mining program, the Speaker, the community mining program has been well received by the population, and young men and women who did not have the resources to acquire concessions and excavators and other mining inputs, and therefore had to do galamsey, have moved into legal community mining. Now, more than 20,000 individuals are earning their incomes legitimately in the community mines in Akufo-Addo, Echuma Nwebeja, Echuma Mpunya, Adansi North, Amansi Central, Wassa Amenfi East, and Wassa East districts. Since the introduction of the community mining program, there have been no deaths due to the collapse of tunnels and pits. The Interministerial Committee, along with Operation Vanguard, were determined to disrupt galamsey activities by confiscating equipment that were employed in these activities. In this regard, 12,000 Shangfan machines that go on the river and scoop up the riverbed were seized and destroyed on site. Some excavators were also seized, and a number of them have gone missing. The police have arrested and charged some of the alleged culprits, and investigations are ongoing. No one involved will be shielded, no matter what their positions or political colors are.